Oh my goodness, the college football playoffs are just about here. We got our first game on Friday night, Alabama at Oklahoma, and I just got to get a playoff prediction video out before that happens because I want this out there. I'm going to do my best to try to predict all the games that are going to happen, all the future matchups. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. We got some issues here because there are going to be a couple of first-round blowouts, in my opinion. We'll get to that later. Yeah, we're going to go through all these games. First, though, I do actually want to show you my preseason playoff predictions. Some of them I'm really happy with. Some of them whoops, big-time misses for me. I'm going to pull these up here. Preseason, I had Georgia over Oregon in the championship. It's a little bit biased because I am a Georgia fan, but my objective pick in the preseason was actually Oregon, to be honest with you. So a couple good things I was happy with here. I had Oregon making it in. I had Texas Tech in as well. Got their seed wrong, but glad to see them in. Ohio State I had in. Good stuff. I got their seed right, too. I had Ole Miss in. Good stuff. I had Bama in. I had Georgia in. I had James Madison in as the 12th seed. That one I'm really happy with. I thought they were going to go undefeated, actually. I missed on that, but somehow they ended up getting in anyway, so good for them. But some of my misses, though, because, if I'm going to sit here and highlight the things I got right, I also have to acknowledge what I got wrong. First, I got Notre Dame wrong, which is it's an absolute joke. Like, they probably should have gotten in the way the committee was hyping them up, and it looked like they were going to get in. It's unfortunate for them, but yeah, ended up missing on Notre Dame. I was wrong about Penn State. Honestly, who wasn't? They were supposed to be a lock to get in, and they just had a terrible year, so one of the more shocking developments of the season. But Penn State, I missed on that. Similar vibes here with Clemson and Texas. Just everyone thought they were getting in. Clemson in particular should have had an easy path, but they blew it too, so really strange stuff. Texas, we almost got right. Like, down the stretch, they looked more like a playoff team, but, it just wasn't enough. The loss to Florida really hurt them. Let's see. I also missed on Iowa. That's the one I really feel bad about. Like, at least with Penn State, Clemson, and Texas, I can be like, yeah, but everyone predicted that. And then with Notre Dame, I can just say, hey, they were robbed, which it can be true. It also, maybe they just didn't deserve to get in. You can argue with that. I'm not here to discuss that today. Iowa, yikes. My reasoning for that was I thought that their new quarterback was going to be pretty decent. I thought it was a definite upgrade, and it would take them from being an 8-4 team to a 10-2 team. I actually had them pulling two big upsets this year over Indiana and Oregon. And those were actually really close games. Like, we were very close to 10-2 Iowa. Just a couple of plays bounced in a different way. It was possible, but ultimately, the quarterback play and the offense was not good enough. Iowa, I believe they actually did go 8-4 once again, so whoops. And another big miss too, kind of on that same thought process, was Indiana. I think I had Indiana go 10-2 and be the first team out of the playoffs due to a head-to-head loss to Iowa. Pretty sure that's what I had happening. Instead, they went undefeated and got the 1 seed, so whoops, I missed. I'm happy with a lot of this. I think I got 7 teams correct, so my preseason takes this time around were not so bad. But alright, enough yapping about my preseason takes. It was interesting to review that. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the real deal. Let me get rid of this. We're going to start with Alabama at Oklahoma. This is a rematch from a regular season game. Now, first off, I'm not going to go too deep into the analysis for these games because I want to do that separately here. So I will have a video out later this week talking about this game in particular, and I'll probably be live streaming during that if you're interested in free commentary and just listening to my reactions to it as a Georgia fan. I think that'll be interesting to watch. I plan to do that. I'm going to go ahead and pick Alabama, and that might be bold. I think most people have taken Oklahoma in this game, and I understand why. It kind of feels like they've been Kalen DeBoer and Alabama's kryptonite for the past couple seasons. They've lost twice to Venables in Oklahoma, so I don't know. The way I see it, and this is how I saw it the first time they played too, Alabama should match up well against Oklahoma. I know everyone talks about that Oklahoma defense, and they're really good against the run. Alabama can't be bothered to run the ball anyway, so I'm not really worried about that. If Alabama can throw the ball, which they should be able to. I know Oklahoma's defense is good, but if they have a weakness, it is that secondary. They do allow some plays sometimes. If Alabama can throw the ball well without turning it over, they should be able to win this game. They match up well enough to do it. Oklahoma's offense shouldn't be able to do anything per usual against this Alabama defense. So, looking at it that way, Alabama should win. But the problem here could be what happened in the first time they played. Could be turnovers. Alabama turned it over a lot in the first meeting, so if they do that again, Oklahoma should win. That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be turnovers. Who turns it over? Who keeps it safe? I'm going with Alabama. I'm going to say they get the job done in a revenge game, and they get the honor of probably losing at Indiana. The next game, JMU at Oregon. Look, I'm happy James Madison is in the playoffs. I think that's awesome. Good for them. Love to see it. No. This is an ugly matchup. Oregon's one of the best teams in the nation, in my opinion. I have no hesitation here. Like, they're going to win, and it's probably going to be ugly. But James Madison, I'm happy for you. Glad you made it in. enjoy it while you can, because it's going to be short-lived, unfortunately. If you pull it off, though, I'm here for it. That'd be awesome. We got Tulane at Ole Miss. It's another one I just want to get out of the way. Ole Miss is going to win. They already played this year. Ole Miss won by 35 points. You can point at me and say, hey, Lane Kiffin's gone. Well, yeah, I don't really care too much. Like, I'm sure that'll make it a closer game, but Ole Miss still has the players that are going to match up well here. I'm looking for Trinidad Chambliss to have a huge game. Kumon Lacey is going to do well in the ground game. I think the Ole Miss defense is going to show up and play. Tulane's not going to score enough to keep up here. It'll be closer this time, but Ole Miss, I have no doubt they're going to win this game. So, give me the Rebels here. And then finally, the best game in the first round, in my opinion, which, by the way, it's terrible that this is the 11 o'clock or the early game, wherever you are. It's the early game on Saturday. Should be a night game, but oh well, whatever. It's Miami at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is 11-1, by the way. I don't know if you realize that. The way people have been talking about them because of how their season ended, you'd think that they were not that good of a team, but they won 11 games. Now, you can question the strength of their opponents. You know, their best win is probably against Notre Dame. They didn't have really any quality SEC wins, so although you could also argue if you're an SEC fan that every SEC win is a quality win. I don't really abide by that logic, but to each their own. A&M at home here, this is going to be an awesome game to watch if you're able to. It's at Kyle Field. I think that's going to be a great environment for a playoff game. This is a really tough one to predict, honestly, because I think both of these teams have a lot of talent. But I'm going to lean the home team here. If Marcel Reed shows up and plays a good game, I think they get the job done, but it's going to be up to him. So that sets us up with some very interesting quarterfinals games. We got Alabama at Indiana. I think Indiana matches up well with Alabama this year. That's not something you expected to say, but here we are. Alabama can't run the ball. They're going to have to throw. I think Indiana's secondary is up to the task here, and I think they're going to get pressure on Ty Simpson. And when he faces pressure, he struggles immensely. So I feel fairly good. And it's weird to say it. I feel fairly good taking Indiana in this game. I think Indiana gets it done at home. So good job, Indiana. Love it. Great story. We got Oregon at Texas Tech. This is also, I think this is a great game. It's really hard to predict because I don't know what exactly Texas Tech is. I like the story. I think it's great, and I will be rooting for them because I've got relatives who are going to root for them. But, they're the Big 12 champs. They've blown out almost all of their opposition. I think all of their wins were dominant. Their one loss was when their quarterback was out against Arizona State. Oh, well. We're going to find out how good Texas Tech is here. I don't know what to expect from Texas Tech. That's the bottom line here, because they could be anything. They could be the best team in the nation for all we know. But maybe they just lose by dominant fashion to Oregon, who's a very good team. I don't know. Anything is possible here. Texas Tech is the biggest wild card in this thing, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to find out more about them in the playoffs. I'm going to take Oregon here because I do think they are the better overall team. I think Texas Tech does have some issues in the red zone. They settle for field goals far too often. And I think while you can get away with that in the Big 12, against a team like Oregon, that'll come back to bite you. So I think that will be an issue for them in this game. I think Oregon will be able to move the ball enough to score. I think it'll be close. I do think that because I think Texas Tech is a legitimately good team. But I like Oregon that much. I'm going to take the Ducks here to get the job done. And then we got Georgia taking on Ole Miss. I mean, I got to go with my Dogs. I don't want to face Ole Miss again. I don't like having to beat a team twice, but I also do not mind being the team that plays a Lane Kiffin-less Ole Miss. While I didn't view that as much of an issue against Tulane in the first round, against a team like Georgia, I mean, look, we beat them the first time around with Lane by 8, and that was a close game. Ole Miss led for a lot of that too, and we had to make a comeback to win. We're a better team today than we were during that game, honestly. Our defense has grown up a lot since then. I think our defense would play a lot better in a rematch. I also think our offense is going to be able to run on them. Their run defense at times has been very weak, very vulnerable at times, and I think we should be able to run it on them. So, could be wrong. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me, but I think Georgia would win a rematch with Ole Miss. And that leaves us with Ohio State taking on Texas A&M. Look, I would love for A&M to win this game, and it's possible. If Marcel Reed plays out of his mind, they could win. If he plays poorly, they lose. And that's just what it's going to be. It comes down to Reed. See how he does. Because I think Ohio State's going to find ways to score in that A&M defense. They've been good at times. They've also been very weak at times. It just depends. They're inconsistent there. Their offense has usually been good enough to bail them out if the defense falters. But against Ohio State's defense, one of the best in the nation, arguably the best in the nation, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be on Marcel Reed to make plays. And I just don't believe it. I'm going to take Ohio State to win. And that sets up a very interesting semifinals here. I've got 3 Big Ten teams in the semifinals, so don't ever come after me and say I'm just an SEC guy. I think the Big Ten is going to do really well in the playoffs here, so dang. I wasn't expecting that, honestly, but here we are. We got Oregon at Indiana. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. If you pick Indiana, you're saying they beat Oregon twice this year, but also Indiana is currently the best team in college football, so there's that. Oregon, man, This would be such a good game. I would love to see this in the semifinals. I'm gonna go with the Ducks, though. I think they get revenge here. I think they get revenge on the Indiana team. Their one loss of the season. I think they avenge it. I'm going to say the Ducks win and they go to the championship. And then we got Georgia at Ohio State. That's also tough. That's really tough. Look, honestly, when the Big Ten championship was going on, I was hoping Ohio State would win. I wanted their first loss to be in the playoffs because I knew if they were to lose that game, it probably meant we would face them in the playoffs before the national championship. And I don't want to do that because I think Ohio State's a very good team and they're tough to beat, and kudos to Indiana for figuring out how to do it. Georgia's a very young team this year. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but most of our team this year is going to be back next year. We're that young. So we don't have as much playoff experience on this roster. Ohio State, I don't know how young their roster is. I know Sayin is his first year as a starter. Good for him. He's had one heck of a season. Jeremiah Smith is having an elite season. Cardinal Tate's balling out. It's going to be tough to stop their offense, honestly. Now, I said our defense has been playing a lot better lately. I think Ohio State's offense will be ready for this game. I think they're going to put up points. It's going to be, can our offense keep up? Can Gunnar Stockton do enough? I'm a homer. Call me a homer. Call me biased. I'm going to say we get the job done. It's going to be a close game. I'm thinking 27-24. We win on a late game field goal. Give me the Dogs in the national championship, and there we go. We've come full circle. I am standing by my preseason take. It's Georgia against Oregon in the national championship. How crazy would that be if that ends up being the case? Honestly, my objective take in the preseason was Oregon over Georgia. My bias take was Georgia over Oregon. I think I'm going to keep that the same. I think my objective take is Oregon. I like Oregon that much this year. And my bias is Georgia, of course, but man, that is a gauntlet for Georgia if we pull that off, beat Ohio State and Oregon back-to-back. I think we're capable of it, but I do worry about the youth on this team. I worry about us just making some critical mistakes and errors later on. This is just my objective side speaking. I think we are fully capable of winning it all. It would be the most impressive coaching job by Kirby Smart that we've seen if it happens. My objective take is Oregon, but in my official prediction, give me the Dogs. In my official prediction here, give me the Dogs. I'm going to be a homer, and I'm going to stand by it in my official take. Georgia is going to be your national champion this year. It could be them, could be Oregon. Honestly, any of the power teams in this bracket are capable of going on a run. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really looking forward to seeing it all play out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Tulane and James Madison, I'm glad you're here, but I don't think you're doing anything. Everyone else, you win your first round. You have a good enough unit to go all the way. So we'll see what happens. Hey, if you enjoyed, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500 subs by the end of the year. We are getting closer. We're getting closer, and we're doing our best, so we appreciate any support we can get. Let me know what your predictions are. Drop them in the comments. Let me know what you thought of what I said. Drop anything you want. Leave a like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate the heck out of you. On Friday night, it's Alabama at Oklahoma. I expect to be live for that. If you're interested, feel free to stop by. Until then, we'll see you in the comments. Everybody take care. Enjoy a great week of football. See you all next time.